Good afternoon, Karthik. Let me mute everyone. 1 minute time you give. Mute. Time this is done. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry, I won't be able to reply everyone, but good afternoon. Okay. Okay, students. Let us quickly discuss what we have done till now. Yesterday class. Actually, today morning. Okay, listen to me now. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today morning, I was teaching my son. I have a 3-year-old son. Arya is his name. So I was teaching him apple, the pronunciation of apple. And already we have taught him ABCD. So when I was teaching him apple, I think we'll make it more bright. Okay. So as I was teaching this apple to him, how to read this. Okay. I told him, what is this? I asked. He said, A. What is this? P. So as I was teaching, I was thinking what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to break something which is complex. Apple is complex for him, 3-year-old, remember. So something which is complex, I was trying to break down into simpler parts. Yes or no, students? You understood what I'm trying to say? I was trying to teach this to him, and I was asking individually, letter by letter, what is this, like that. So he was able to say, this is A, this is P. So basically, this is the way, human beings always try to understand something complex. So anything which is complex, they try to study it in terms of simpler parts. They try to break the complex thing into simpler parts. First understand that simpler parts and then combine that to study the complex part. Okay. So similarly, what in projectile motion, what we have done first, before doing projectile motion in the previous chapter, we studied motion in one dimension, right? In projectile motion, we study motion in 2 dimensions. Now can you tell me which is simpler, which is a simpler study, 1D or 2D? 1D is simpler study. So first we understood this nicely. Then what we did, we tried to understand 2D motion with the help of vectors. With the help of vectors, we broke this into 2 1D motion, right? One along x-axis, which goes like this, and one along y-axis, which goes like this. So if you combine these 2 motion, you get this motion. Accept it or not? Right? Okay. So I think this is the whole idea. Okay. This is the whole idea. Later on also try to keep this idea in your mind. Some of you may become great scientists, doctors, engineers. So you will have to study a lot of complex things in life. So later always try to do this kind of method where you try to break the complex thing into simpler parts. First understand the simpler parts and then try to think how to combine the simpler parts to understand something which is complex. Okay, fine. I just wanted to share this. Okay. Now, suppose in projectile motion, you give some initial velocity u. Then you know there is acceleration due to gravity in this direction. So because of this gravity, everywhere it is there, right? Everywhere. It is constant. Remember, gravity is constant. Okay. So since everywhere it is constant, this will not continue in a straight line. This will follow a parabolic path. Correct? Okay. Now let us say this is time 0. When it reaches here after time t, the displacement is from here to here. But if I want to know what is the x component of displacement, matlab how much it moves horizontally, then it moves this much. This is the x component of displacement. And how much it moves vertically, this much. Understood, students, this part? Displacement, okay, not velocity. Right now I am not talking about velocity. So everybody understood this is the x component of displacement, this is the y component of displacement. Yeah. Similarly, suppose I want to know the displacement from here till here. From here till here. Then horizontally, if I ask what is the displacement, then this is the x component of displacement. And what will be the y component? This one. Okay, students. Now, sometimes it is possible, it may be like this. Here. So this is time 0, this is time t. Then how much it moves horizontally? Horizontally, it moves up to here. Vertically, how much it moves? Up to here. This is your x component, this is your y component. This also understood? This one, third part. Some of you may be thinking how it went below the ground. Well, students, try to understand. Every time I may not throw from the ground. For example, if this is ground, and if I throw a ball like this, I know it will go up to here only. More down it cannot go. But I can always throw something from top of a building, no? So from the top of the building, if I throw something like this, then it will go this way. Yes or no? Agree? Agree? This kind of path you can see here. Okay, so such situations also can be there, which we will study later. So I hope everybody is comfortable how to find x component of displacement and y component of displacement. One more thing you should remember. If this is origin, then this can be written directly what? This can be written directly x. And this can be written directly y. Why, sir? Because this point will have coordinates x, y, provided this is the origin. Same thing, this is how you have to find components of displacement. You have to see initially where it is and after time t where it is. Then find the actual displacement is this, remember. Actual displacement is this. But we are taking components of displacement and trying to study the motion along x-axis separately, along y-axis separately. Similarly, for initial velocity, so let me draw this side. This is your initial velocity, right? That initial velocity also you can take two components, one here, one here. Similarly, when the particle reaches here, its final velocity will be along the tangent. So for that also you can take two components, one component along x-axis, one component along y-axis. So just revision, I'm doing nothing new. Yesterday we completed everything. Then we did one very important derivation for 3 marks, and that was derivation for maximum height. Derivation for maximum height, okay? Maximum height, capital H, in projectile motion. Let me quickly do it. I will not take too much time. Yesterday we have finished. So this was your x-axis. This was your y-axis. And from the origin, we throw a body with some initial velocity u at angle theta. Then you know the path will be parabolic like this, right? Then you can take two components of initial velocity. One this much ux, one this much uy. What will be ux? U cos theta. What will be uy? U sin theta. Okay. Then at this point, which component of velocity was 0? X component or y component? At the highest point, y component of velocity was 0. Why? Because velocity, instantaneous velocity, is always drawn by drawing a tangent. So at that point, when it reaches the highest point, if I draw a tangent, it will look like this. So your velocity is completely along x-axis, which means this vector, this velocity vector, will not have y component. So at point P, your y component of velocity will be 0. By the way, when it reaches here, what will be the x component of displacement? This will be the x component of displacement, which I don't want. And this will be my y component of displacement. Correct now? And this is nothing but what height? Maximum height, which we want to derive. Correct or not? So this will be your maximum height. So when y component of displacement becomes equal to h, when y component of displacement becomes equal to h, this much, that time your y component of velocity becomes 0. So using this information, we have used the third equation of kinematics. First equation was v equal to u plus at. Am I right? That was first or second? V equal to u plus at was the first. Then second one was s equal to ut plus half at square. Then third one we have used using v, but along which axis? Y axis. Why sir y axis? Because we know vy is 0 when sy is h. So v square minus u square equals to 2as. But I am using along y axis. Why sir along y axis? Because I want this height and this is your sy. And when your sy, when your y component of displacement becomes h, vy will be 0. So put this information here. So vy will be 0. And what is uy? Uy is initial y component of velocity, which is u sin theta square 2. Now let us take downward, let us take upward positive. So if I take upward positive, your ay will be minus g and your sy will be plus h. Understood this part? Right? Okay. So minus minus will cancel. So you will get u square sine square theta equals to 2gh. So what will be the formula for maximum height? U square sine square theta by 2g. So again, try to remember how we have found this equation. This formula for maximum height has been derived by using this particular equation. And the reason why we used this equation is we know when your y component of displacement becomes equal to maximum height, that time only vy will be 0. Okay, students? So the moment you write 0 here, that moment you have to write h here. Can I write h by 2? Yeah, you can write whole square, no problem. Can I write h by 2 here, students? Can I say when the vertical displacement is h by 2, vy will be 0? For example, when it is here, this is your h, no? So h by 2 will be here. So when your particle is here, this sy will be h by 2, half of this, almost. So that time you can see your velocity will be this way. Yes or no? So that velocity you can see will have x component also, y component also. So at this point, you cannot say as vy is 0. Vy is 0 only at this point. Okay, fine. And which direction to take positive, that is completely up to you, students. I keep changing it depending on the simplicity. Whichever makes the problem simple, I take that convention. Today, we will derive another formula. 2 formulas more we have to derive. The other one is time of flight in projectile motion. Please write down the topic. Time of flight in projectile motion. So what it means is time taken by this body to come from here till here. this label should be same. Understood? From here till here. That time taken is called time of flight. Understood that definition? You understood? Time taken from here to here. That's it. Don't do this calculation. This we have done already. Now we are not doing 1D motion. We are doing 2D motion. Okay. So let us start. Again, this is your x-axis. This is your y-axis. Here clouds are there. Birds are flying. Okay. Now, when the body is here, I give an initial velocity u. At what angle? Theta. Other than 90 degree, this can be any other angle. Now, you can resolve this into two components here only, ux, uy, and you know already ux will be u cos theta, uy will be u sin theta. Okay. Then you know the path of the particle will look like this. Okay, parabola. When it reaches here, time taken will be capital T. And that capital T is what we have to derive. So we have to derive formula for this capital T. In terms of what? In terms of u and theta. U and theta. Why? Because u and theta are initial quantities. These two will be given to us. Understood, no students? The formula for maximum height also was derived in terms of u and theta or not? This formula was derived in terms of u and theta. So your formula should be in terms of whatever was the initial given quantities. Okay. Now, how to find time of flight here? Listen carefully. From here to here, if it took capital T time, from here to here, highest point, here, how much time it will take? It should be in the middle, okay? In my graph, it may not look exactly middle. How much it will be? Capital T divided by 2, okay? Okay. Everybody understood that part, right? That is because we have neglected air resistance. So there is no air resistance. So this path will be identical to this path. This part will be exactly same as this one. So from here to here, if time taken is capital T, from here to maximum height, T point, time taken will be T by 2. Correct? And at that point, we know your velocity will be horizontal. And it will be only along x-axis. So what we know? At T, we know y component of velocity is 0. Right? So when time taken, small t is the time taken, becomes equal to T by 2, where it will be here, right? So that time, what will be your Vy? 0. Right, students? Okay. So you know Vy is 0. So again, you have to use equation which contains Vy. But this time we want time. So which equation we should use first, second, or third? Time we want, V we know, V we know. So which equation we should use? Second one will be S equal to ut plus half at square. That will be very lengthy if you use that. Since you know V, you should use the first equation. So using, but along y-axis, remember, using Vy equals to Uy plus Ayt. Again, we will take upward positive for simplicity. So what is Vy? 0. Uy is, what is Uy? U sin theta upwards, upward positive. Ay is downwards, so minus g, right? You know acceleration along y-axis is minus g. If you take upward positive. And what is time taken? T by 2. not at any other time. Only when time taken is t by 2, only that time you can write Vy 0. Clear? Now you can easily simplify. Bring this one this side. Then you cross multiply. 2u sine theta divided by g. So this is the formula for time of flight. Everybody understood? Any doubt? Please tell me. Specific doubt. Which part? By the way, what is ax in this problem? What is acceleration of gravity along x-axis? Along x-axis, sir, there is no gravity. Provided your x-axis is horizontal. If your x-axis is like this, 3 marks. If your x-axis is like this, then remember, you cannot say ax is 0. If your x-axis is horizontal, only then ax is 0. In some other problems later, when we will do JEE problems and JEE advanced problems, that time I may keep x-axis here, y-axis here. In that case, you cannot say ax is 0, remember. Right now, it's okay. Fine. Okay, check once what happens for vertical projection. What the formula will tell. For vertical projection, what is theta? For vertical projection, if I throw like this, 90 degree, then what will be your time of flight? Sine 90 degree you put here, sine 90 degree is 1, 2u by g. This should give you what? This should give you what? Smile. Why? Because this we have done already while discussing time of flight in one-dimensional motion. Yes, if you know the initial speed, Advait, if you know the initial speed, if you know the angle of projection, and you can time how much time it took, you can calculate g from this formula. However, to calculate g, usually we use one pendulum experiment is there. Pendulum experiment, which we do in the 14th chapter. That chapter is called oscillations. So that experiment usually people do to find the acceleration due to gravity at a given place. Okay, I hope everybody understood this. The last part, the last derivation in projectile motion is for range. Okay. R-A-N-G. Range, capital R. So we found maximum height up to where it goes, like this it goes, remember. So as it goes like this is the maximum height. Time of flight we found. Now we are interested to know range. And sometimes they call this range horizontal range. Horizontal range. Okay, so what is this horizontal range? Let us try to understand. Same concept. X-axis, Y-axis. Okay, if you have drawn the diagram, you don't need to again draw. Okay, no need. You can use, but if they ask separately, only this question if they ask, then you have to draw the diagram. But if they ask previous question also, this question also together, then you can use the same diagram. Understood, students, what I'm saying? If they ask this question separately, then you have to draw diagram. But if they ask this question and the previous question together, then you can use same diagram. So this is the body at time 0, it is here. And I give it a velocity u, initial velocity at angle theta. Then you know the path will be parabolic, right? When it reaches here, time taken will be capital T, which is called time of flight. And that time, this distance from here to here, This distance is called range. This distance is called range. Okay, so how far it can go. So if you fire a missile like this, how far it can go. Okay, that range, that is called capital R. So to find this range, till now students, we have done two derivations for projectile motion. While finding time of flight and maximum height, in both cases, we used equations for y-axis. Yes or no? Check. First, we use this formula. Then we use this formula. Correct? Agree? For both the derivation, we used y equation. Matlab, there are remember, all together there are 6 equations in this projectile motion. 3 for x-axis, 3 for y-axis. To derive the first two formulas, we use these two. Why we use these two? Because we know Vy is 0 at the highest point. And when the particle reaches highest point, vertical displacement, this is vertical displacement, will be h, and time taken will be t by 2. Right? So that is why we have used these two equations. But to find the range, we must use x-axis equations or not? Because range is along which axis? Range is along x-axis or y-axis? Range is along x-axis. So we need to use equation containing x-axis. And if you look carefully, this is nothing but displacement at this time, right? I told you in the start also, if the particle is going up to here, then this is your Sx. This is your Sy. When the particle comes up to here, what will be your Sx? This much will be your Sx. And what will be Sy? Who can tell me Sy here? Vertical displacement, 0. Because it is back to the x-axis. Since it is back to x-axis, there is no vertical displacement. Understood? Okay. So it is very clear. It is very clear that when time taken is equal to capital T, which is time of flight, that time your Sx is equal to R. Right? This Sx, horizontal displacement, is R. Right? Okay. So since we want this, and already we know time of flight. Already we know time of flight from previous formula. And this we want. So we will use which equation? First equation. Oh, sorry. Second equation. Sx equals to uxt plus half ax t square. Let us put this condition here. When time taken is capital T, when time taken is capital T, what is your Sx? Range. Sx is range. And what is ux? Already we know ux. U cos theta. Right? And what is this? What is this? What will be this guy? This guy. I don't care. That will be 0. Because once ax is 0, Aryabhatta told you multiply 0 with anybody, you will get 0. So R will be equal to U cos theta time of flight. So this is the formula for range, but we should not stop here. Why we should not stop here? Because we want the answer in terms of U and theta. Since AX is 0. So now let us put the formula for time of flight. Time of flight we have derived in the previous one. 2u sine theta divided by g. 2u sine theta divided by g. This formula we have derived. Okay. You can write here, since time of flight is 2u sine theta divided by g. So finally, what is the formula for range? So the formula for range is u into u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. So this is the formula for range. Now students, we can make this formula more simple to remember. This way also you can remember, but we can make it more simple. But for that, little bit of trigonometry is needed. Suresh sir has started which chapter in maths? Which chapter you are doing in maths? Oh, permutations you are doing. Oh, the permutations though it is not so useful in physics. It is useful, but in higher physics it is useful. When you will study statistical thermodynamics, that time permutation and combination will be useful. Then, okay, this one is done. Okay. Okay, students, now I need all of you to know one identity. Neha, look here. Okay, wait. Somebody is asking one doubt. Neha, if a vector is along y-axis, what is the x component of the vector? Only Neha should answer. 0. So acceleration due to gravity, because the projectile is moving under gravity only. Pankaj sir is not taking the projectile, remember. I should not apply my force. Okay, some buoyant force should not act. Air resistance should not act. We are only studying motion of a body in gravity. So if the force is due to gravity, acceleration due to gravity is always along y-axis. So if acceleration is along y-axis, what will be its x component? 0. You all remember, right? If this is a vector, this is called x component, this is called y component. See what happens to x component? 0, right? So when the vector is along y-axis, x component will become 0. This is the x component. Shadow and all I used to say, right? If you remember. Okay. Okay, now look here. You need to know one small identity. Identity matlab some formulas are there in trigonometry. Suresh sir will derive all the formulas. I will not be doing because I have to do physics, right? But one formula is there. Look here. 2 sine theta cos theta is equals to sine 2 theta. So this formula you have to study in trigonometry in maths chapter, in maths subject. Okay. If you know, very good. If you know, very good. If you don't know, this will be taught in first PU maths also. So in maths you have to study. But I don't want you people to think, "Arey, how this formula came suddenly like that." So I will try to at least give you one. No, I will try to check whether this formula is really correct or not for some angles. So let us say, let theta be 30 degree. Let theta be 30 degree. Let us check the left hand side. What is the left hand side of this equation? 2 sine 30, right? I am checking this equation for 30 degree. So if I put sine 30 degree, what will I get? Half. Cos 30 degree, how much will I get? Root 3 by 2. So what will be the left hand side? Left hand side will be root 3 by 2. Now what will be right hand side? Right hand side, what is there? Sine 2 theta. So sine 2 theta. But how much I took theta? 30 degree. So 2 into 30 degree will be what? 60 degree. What is sine 60 degree? Root 3 by 2. So did you see that the left hand side and right hand side are same? Yeah. So you can try this for other angles also. I don't have time to do for all the angles. Sir will give you proof for this. Don't worry. But we need this equation. So look here now. So R will be equal to what now? This bracket part we can write using this sine 2 theta divided by G, using this. Okay. So please write this way also, because in many books they will write like this. Done? Okay. So as Channa was telling before, sir, please give us all the formula together. I will not give all the formula of the chapter together, but these three formulas I will write together, and you also try to write separately together, because in numericals we have to use this formula. Okay. So what was the first formula? Maximum height. U square sine square theta by 2g. Please try to remember u square sine square theta by 2g. U square sine square theta by 2g. Many students forget this too. Don't forget, otherwise wrong answer will come. Time of light 2u sine theta by g. 2u sine theta by g. 2u sine theta by g. And range u square sine 2 theta by g. And you can also write this if you want, u square 2 sine theta cos theta by g. Okay, if you want to write this one this way, no problem. Now, there is another way to remember this formula, which is useful for what? Once I write this symbol, what it means, students, I want you to know this. Entrance. So, same formula, you can also remember this way. Look here. Now, look carefully. Can I write this formula like this? Channa was saying before. Can I write like this? A square b square, I can write ab whole square. A square b square, I can write ab whole square. Now what is u sine theta? What is u sine theta? ux or uy? Uy. Check the formula. So I can write this as uy square by 2g. So this is also one way of remembering. Now this way it is easy, because in one dimension, what was the formula? U square by 2g. Here you have to write uy square, because u sine theta is uy. Similarly, time of light is 2 u sine theta by g. So u sine theta I can write uy. And this you can write this way. This is for entrance, okay? Try to observe this formula. See how I will write 2 u cos theta u sine theta divided by g. Same or different? Same or different? Can I write like this or not? As long as it is same, you can write. It is same only because u square, I wrote u into u here. Now the reason why I did this way is because you can write range equals to, what is u cos theta? Ux, u sine theta, uy divided by g. Okay, so these formulas are quite useful for your entrance exams. Okay, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Done? Okay, notice one thing, all of you. Maximum height depends only on which component of velocity? Y component of velocity. It has nothing to do with X component of velocity. See, in the formula. Similarly, time of light depends on which component of velocity? Only Y component of velocity. It has nothing to do with X component. Range depends on both X component of velocity also, Y component of velocity also. So keep this in your mind. In other words, one small note you see for entrance exams. If T is same for two projectiles, if T is same for two projectiles, okay, or if capital H is same for two, let me write capital H. If capital H, matlab maximum height, if maximum height is same for two projectiles, then with closed eyes you can say, then time of flight also will be same. Time of flight will be also same. You cannot say the same thing for range, remember, but time of flight has to be same. Why? Did you understand why? Because if this is same for two projectile, then uy should be same. Agree or not? If this number is same for two projectile, this number should be same, because g is constant, no baba. G is same for this also, for this also, for this also. So let us say India is firing one missile and another country is firing. If the maximum height is same, if maximum height is same, uy must be same. If uy is same, this will be also same. Okay. So based on this one question they had asked in CET exams, I think, like this. Extra question. So they gave you a diagram where they have shown you three projectiles. One projectile like this, another one like this, another one like this. Okay, understood? There are three projectiles. First projectile, let me write like this. Second projectile, third projectile. Okay, now for these three projectiles, can you see the maximum height is same? Can you see the maximum height is same? Yes. So what they asked in the question is, what is the relation between time of flights? Time of flights. Okay. Options were something like this. Exactly, I don't remember options, but it was something like, T1 greater than T2 greater than T3, T1 less than T2 less than T3, T1 equal to T2 greater than T3, T1 equal to T2 equal to T3. Which option? With closed eyes you can say option D. Why, sir? Because they have same maximum height. See, many students know, they will think this is the right answer. Many students will think this is the right answer. Why? Because they will think this is going farther, this is going lesser far, this is going lesser far. So they will think this will take more time. But according to the theory, whatever we have discussed, it is very clear that as long as maximum height is same, uy will be same. If uy is same, time of flight must be same. See, u may be different, but uy is not u. What is uy? Uy is u sin theta. Correct? No. So students, is it possible that this number and this number are different? This speed and this angle are different, but this number is same. Is it possible or not? Is it possible to multiply different numbers and get same number? I'm asking. Is it possible to multiply different numbers and get same answer? Advait, not possible. Huh? Let me show you. 3 into 2, 6. 6 into 1, 6. It is possible, right? So it is very much possible that these three, look here, these three do not have same angle. These three do not have same theta. But if they have same maximum height, then it means if maximum height is same, 100% uy must be same. Otherwise the whole formula, whole derivation, whatever we have done is nonsense then. Understood or not? So if maximum height is same, uy will be same. If uy will be same, time of flight will be same. So many students will take this actually, but the right answer is D, because they have same maximum height. Since each one of them has same maximum height, they must have same time of flight. Now if they ask which will have more ux or ux will be same, which one will have more ux? First, second, third. Third one will have more ux. Why, sir? Look here. Ui is same. Ui is same or not in this question? Why ui is same? Again, because height is same. If this number is same for 3 projectile, this number also should be same. So ui is same, but ux will depend on r. Which one has maximum r? Third one has maximum range. So ux will be more for the third one. So ux will be more for third one. Since r is maximum, range is maximum. Let me not write more, let me write maximum. So ux will be maximum for the third projectile. Why? Because range is maximum. So students, I want all of you to memorize this fact, that time of flight and maximum height has nothing to do with, not ux, u and theta. Ux will be same. Ux will be more for third projectile. Sujal, ux will be more for third projectile. Why? Because r is what? R is more or same? R is same for everyone. Sujal, is range same for everyone? Is range same for everyone? No, range is maximum for this one. So if this is maximum, this also should be maximum because this number is same. So please write somewhere a very important note. Maximum height and time of flight. You can write the names also. But in physics, you should try to remember symbols. Maximum height and time of flight depend only on y component of initial velocity. Only on y component of initial velocity. But range depends on both x and y component. That is understandable, right? Because range means how far you go along x-axis. Yes or no? So how far you go along x-axis will also depend on x component of initial velocity. Okay, now some mathematics, trigonometry I have to discuss with you. I cannot wait for when maths will start, I don't know. So now only some small things are there which I will give you. Otherwise, problem solving will be difficult. And very soon, once sir will start, you will know the proofs and everything. Okay, so I will help you to, I will give you some techniques to remember the formula. Simple formulas are there. For example, look here. Okay, sine 90 minus theta. Okay, sine 90 degree minus theta is cos theta. Is cos theta. Okay. Sine 180 degree minus theta is sine theta. So these two you need to remember. These are called complementary. These two are called complementary angles. Then you should know cos of 90 minus theta is minus sine theta. Cos of 90 minus theta is minus sine theta. Oh, sorry, sine theta only. Sorry, sine theta. and cos of 180 minus theta. Cos of 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. So I need you guys to remember this. Okay. How to remember this? Look here. I will give you some ideas. Okay. First of all, try to remember this. If I give you a plane, XY plane, this is called, I think all of you know, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. In the first quadrant, remember, all are positive. All are positive. All matlab sine, cos, tan, whatever. Second quadrant, sine and cosecant. Forget about cosecant. We don't need that right now. So sine is positive. Here tan is positive, and here cos is positive. Okay. So how to remember this? All science teachers are crazy. Right? So try to remember that way. All science teachers are crazy. Okay. I will rub this quickly, otherwise you will inform other people. So all science teachers are crazy, like that you can remember. Now look here. How I used to remember is this. Sine 90. See, whenever 90 is there, sine will become cos. Whenever 90 is there. And 270 also. But I don't need 270. That Suresh sir will discuss. So when 90 is there, please remember to convert sine into cos. And here if 90 is there, cos you convert into sine. If you know, very good. Everybody may not know, that's why. Okay. Sine 180. If it is 180, then this sine will remain sine only. And if it is 180, cos will remain cos only. So how I used to remember is, if it is 90 degree, it will change. 90 degree. It will change. Sine will become cos, cos will become sine. 90 degree. 180 matlab no change. Understood that part? How to remember? Yes or no? Yeah. And second part, how to remember minus is there. And that is very simple. 90 minus theta means, 90 means still here, starting from here, okay, like this. So 90 means you are here. 90 minus theta means first quadrant. 90 minus theta means first quadrant. Okay, first quadrant, all are positive, so plus. Sine 180 minus theta, 180 means here. 180 minus theta, no, less. So it will be in second quadrant. Here, sine is positive. So sine is positive. Then cos 90 minus theta. 90 is here. 90 minus theta means first quadrant. Cos first quadrant, all are positive. All, sine, cos. So cos will be positive. Cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta means second quadrant. In second quadrant, who is positive? Only sine is positive. So cos will not be positive. So negative. So like that, you please try to remember. Suresh sir will give you the mathematical proof and other things. Okay. Done, students? Done? Okay. Try to remember this. Later we will use. Now, we will do one 3-mark derivation, which is show that range is same for two complementary angles. Show that range is same for two complementary angles. Okay, U is same. So the derivation is to show something. So what we have to show? The range is same for two complementary angles provided your initial speed is same. So 10 meter per second, if you say I will throw a body with 10 meter per second, then students, there are two angles, complementary angles, for which range will be same. If one is 30 degree, what will be the other complementary angle? You know the meaning of complementary angles? Complementary angles means those angles which when you add, you get 90 degree. So complementary angles means those angles if you add, you get 90 degree. So keeping the speed same, there are two angles. One is, let's say, 20 degree. Other one will be 70 degree. 20 degree will be little below, 70 degree will be little above. So there will be two angles for which range will be same. We have to prove that. So in diagram, if I try to show, at 30 degree, let us say, the projectile goes like this, let's say. Okay, then keeping the speed same, if you throw at 60 degree, it will go like this. So range will be same. You understood? In the diagram you understood. I will give you proof, don't worry. Diagram you understood. So for 30 degree and 60 degree, your range will be same. Not height, range. So let us check. For angle equal to angle of projection equal to theta, range is given by what formula? We know already. R equals to, what was the formula? 2 u square, u square 2 sin theta cos theta divided by g. Shall I use this one or shall I use sin 2 theta 1? I can use both. Any one I can use. This one or the other one. So you have to say this one or other one. Other one you want me to use? Okay. So what I will do, for other one also I will do, this one also later I will show you. So other one is what? Sin 2 theta. So range is equals to u square sin 2 theta. So when your angle of projection is theta, your range is how much? U square sin 2 theta by g, right? Formula I think I've written correctly. Now, for complementary angle, for the other angle, for angle of projection equals to, what will be the other angle? 90 degree minus theta. Yes or no? Because I have to show the range is same for two complementary angles. So one angle is 30 degree, other angle will be 60 degree. So one angle is theta, other angle will be 90 degree minus theta. So the range will be how much? Let us write R dash. Since I don't know right now they will be same or not, R dash let me write. U is same, remember, U should be same. So U, if it is U here, here also U only. U should be same, okay? Sin 2. Now what is this theta now? Now it is 90 minus theta divided by g. Till here understood? Okay, so what I have done, wherever is theta, I have replaced by the other angle. Other angle is 90 degree minus theta. So what will be this? Simplify now. Try to simplify. U square sin 2 into 90 will be 180. 2 into theta will be 2 theta divided by g. Right? Now, just now I told you sin 180 minus any angle, let us say x. So since it is 180, I told no change. So sin will be sin only. And 180 minus x means second quadrant. In second quadrant, sin is positive. So it will be sin x. So this you should know. That's why I explained to you about those complement formulas. Okay. So what I can write? Sin 180 minus 2 theta as what I should write? Sin what? What will be R dash now? U square using this. What will be my sin 180 minus 2 theta? Sin theta or 2 theta? 2 theta, right? Sin 2 theta divided by g. By the way, students, you can put some angles and check. Okay, maybe you can put 90 degree and check. So sine 90 degree is 1. Here if you put 90 degree, that will also give you sine 180 minus 90. Sine 90 is again 1. So that way you can check if you want. So from this is equation 1, this is equation 2. From 1 and 2, what do we see? This range is same as this range. So this proves, okay, this proves that there are two angles of projection for which the range will be same. And those angles must be complementary angles. If one is 30 degree, other one is 60 degree. Done? So from equation 1 and 2, you can clearly see the range is same. But students, you should be same, okay? Okay, let me ask you some common sense question. Don't feel bad if you answer wrongly. That is the whole purpose of studying, right? To keep trying to answer. Sometimes you will be wrong. Me though, whenever I used to answer in my class, I told you before also, I used to be wrong most of the time. Okay, so don't feel bad if you answer wrong. If I ask you to throw a stone, suppose in lake, some water body is there, river is there, and you are throwing stones. If I want you to throw maximum range, maximum, at what angle you should throw? At what angle do you feel? Exactly, if you can't tell me, it's okay. But can you tell me the range? The range at which your angle will be maximum. The angle at which the range will be maximum. Well, it is at 45 degree actually. It is at 45 degree. Okay, 90 degree means you're stupid. 90 degree means you'll come back. Yes or no? Yes or no? 90 degree means you'll come back. 0 degree means like this only. So 0 degree means like this you are throwing, it will fall here only. So at 45 degree, actually not 60 degree, 45 degree, the range will be maximum. So let us try to prove. So the range is maximum for angle theta equals to 45 degree. The range is maximum for what angle? 45 degree. Let us try to see why it is. Okay, why? We know that. What is the formula for range? Now, though, you people must have remembered u square sine 2 theta by g. Now, I told you keeping the u same. You keep same, but change the angle. Sometimes you throw this way, sometimes you throw this way, sometimes you throw that way. So at different angles, you check when will the range be maximum. So if I ask when will be R maximum, so R will be maximum when sine, this sine should be what? Maximum. Agree or not? You are multiplying, no? Multiplying. So when you multiply maximum, you get maximum. Agree or not? So when will be R maximum? R will be maximum when sine 2 theta is maximum. What is the maximum value of sine? Maximum value of sine is what? Other students? 1. So sine of this 2 theta, sine of not angle, sine of 2 angle, 2 times, that should be 1. That means this angle should be 90 degree. Because you all know sine 90 degree is 1. So therefore 2 theta should be 90 degree. If 2 theta is 90 degree, what will be theta? 45 degree. Okay, students. So please remember at 45 degree, the range will be maximum. And what will be the formula for maximum range if somebody will ask? For maximum range, what will be the formula? Put 45 degree here. Sine of 45 degree will be, sorry, sine of 2 into 45 degree will be sine 90 degree, which is 1. So it will be u square by g. So please remember, range is maximum when the angle of projection is 45 degree, provided we are talking about this range. This range, okay? This range. Not when you are, watch out, that WhatsApp problem, already I have given the solution, no? Everybody understood the solution which I gave, or you want me to discuss? Time is there. Another, after 15 minutes, we will discuss, no worries. So this part, please understand, whatever I am writing this, whatever I told you, that for theta equal to 45 degree, the range will be maximum. That is for this range. Not when somebody is standing in a tower and throwing the stone at different angle. Okay. So that time the answer actually changes. It is no longer 45 degree. But this is more difficult. More difficult. It is for only for JEE exams. We will discuss this much later. So when I say at 45 degree, your range will be maximum, it is for this kind of range. Okay. So if you try to draw a picture of a body thrown at different angles, this is how it will look. So when you throw at a very small angle, let's say, I don't know, 20 degree, it goes something like this. Okay, 20 degree. Then when you throw with the same speed at 70 degree, 70 degree, 70 degree, range will be same or different? This is 20 degree. Okay, if it is not visible, let me write here 20 degree. Range will be same because 20 and 70 are complementary angles. So range will be same. Okay. It should look symmetrical. Then at 45 degree, if I throw, this is at, this red one is at 45 degree. At 45 degree, if I throw, my body will go maximum far. Okay. So this red one will be your maximum range. Okay, let us do one problem from our EPL, and then I will discuss the WhatsApp doubt. Okay, numerical exercise 3.4 you see, all of you, one question at least we will do today. Numerical exercise 3.4. First question, nothing is there, direct substitution and calculating. This question has come numerous times in your board, in our board exams, numerous times. Only thing is number they may change, that's it. So listen to the question carefully. A cricket ball is thrown at a speed of 28 meter per second in a direction 30 degree above the horizontal. So if this is your horizontal, horizontal means this line. the cricket ball is thrown with what speed? 28 meter per second. At what angle? 30 degree. Okay, students, what they are asking, calculate first part, the maximum height, nothing, just direct formula and substitution. So what is the formula for maximum height? U square sine square theta by 2g. Please don't forget the 2. Some people can remember this as uy square by 2g. Then substitute uy as u sine theta. So what is the initial speed? This is the magnitude of velocity. Remember, u is magnitude of velocity. So speed is 28. So 28 square, 28. Sine square theta is 30 degree. G value, let us check. They have asked you to take 10. No, they have not told 10. Then you have to write exact value. 9.8. So this will be H equals to 28 into 28 into. Sine 30 degree is half. Okay, students, please remember, sine 30 degree is half. Half square will be 1/4. Divided by 2 into 9.8 will be what? 19.6. Please do this calculation. Multiply these two, divide by this, again divide by 4. What is the height you are getting? Or you can write 4 sevens are 28 if you want. Okay. Then multiply 28 with 7, then divide by 19.6. Exact 10 is coming, huh? Exact. No decimal number. Oh, okay, very good. So maximum height is 10 meter. 10 meter is not very far, no? Okay. So this is the maximum height. Again, students, nothing, just you have to remember the formula. So nicely I have done the derivation. So there is should be no problem remembering the formula. First part is done. Okay. Second part, they are asking you the time taken by the ball to return to the same level. To return to the same level, matlab what? From here to here. Correct or not? Same level. So that is what time they are asking. Directly they did not say time of flight. But you all know time taken from here to here is called time of flight. So second part is nothing but time of flight. What is the formula? 2u sine theta by g. 2u sine theta by g. Initial speed is 28. Sine of 30 degree. G is 9.8. So that will be 2 into 28 into half. Sine 30 degree is half divided by 9.8. 2 you can cancel. 28 divided by 9.8. If it was entrance exam, I will take this as 10. So answer will be 2.8. 2.8. If I do it approximately. Exactly how much it is coming? 2.857. 2.857. But again, students, in entrance exam, don't take 9.8 and start dividing. First of all, you will not get calculator. So you will have to do manually. So that way, if you do, you will waste precious time. So in board exam, admit, no need to write so many decimal places, ma. You have not learned about significant figures or what? Okay. So up to 3 decimal place, if you write, it is enough. What was the last part? The last part is the distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level. Again, this is the person who is throwing. So from here they are asking. That is nothing but range, right? This distance they are asking. So the last part is range. And for range, what formula we have? U square sine 2 theta divided by G. Now, if you are not comfortable with sine 2 theta, you can also take 2 sine theta cos theta and check. Same answer will come. So 28 square means 28 into 28. Sine of theta is given 30 degree, right? So sine 2 into 30 will be sine 60. G is 9.8. So that will be 28 into 28. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2 divided by 9.8. Root 3 value, you can take 1.732, I think. Check this value. I'm not very sure, but I think this is the value of root 3. Final answer is coming 69.2. Are 1.7? Check different people. How much is the final answer? 69.2 meters. So that will be your range, okay? Approximately 70 meters. So this problem is so simple, directly you can do, no problem. Yeah, I wrote here already 1.732. Please take 1.732, okay? And if more decimal places come in the calculator, please write up to 3 decimal places. If 0 is there, no problem. Fine. So remaining problems we will do next class. Now I will explain one of the question which I posted in the group. In both the groups I have posted. The question was very interesting. Look here. I knew most of you will get slightly confused while answering. So look here, all of you. Okay, this is discussion of doubt. Some doubt we are discussing. Question you already know. I will not write the question. Look here. Suppose I throw a ball up with some velocity u. You know it goes up. While going up, it goes faster or slower? It goes slower. Then while coming back, it goes fast. So if you draw picture, listen carefully now. Okay, understood. If you take photo 1 second later, then the path looks something like this. Like this. Okay, did you understand why the distance is decreasing? 1 second later, why distance is decreasing? Can you see? Why it is decreasing? Because it is slowing down. So then it will come to stop. Somewhere here it will stop. Final velocity will be 0. Then while coming back, it will move faster. And it will follow the same path. Let me try to show this side. So this is how the path looks. Okay. So if you look carefully, this is the distance traveled in the first second. Distance traveled in the second second. Distance traveled in the third second. This is distance traveled in the fourth second. So this is your distance traveled. Distance traveled in the last second of which journey? Upward journey. Okay. Yes. Sumuka, no problem. She has already told some function was there. Now look here. As this body is going up, look carefully all of you, as this body is going up, this is the distance covered in the first second. This is the distance covered in the last second. Agree or not? That much you tell first. For example, to reach here, if it is 10 seconds, then this will be the distance traveled in the 10th second, last second. Okay. Now, while coming back, this will be your distance traveled in the first second. This will be distance traveled in first second of its what journey? What journey I will write? If this was for upward journey, this is distance traveled in first second of what journey? Downward journey. Okay, students. Now, this no students, if you are not able to tell this, I will feel very bad. Look here. This distance is very easy to calculate. This distance is distance traveled in 1 second. First second. First second means 1 second from here to here. Starting with what velocity? From here to here. 0 velocity. So what formula I will write? 0 to e plus half g t square. T is 1 square. So what is this? G by 2. Agree or not? G by 2. How it is G by 2? Again, let me repeat. See, from here to here, from here to here, this distance from here to here will be distance traveled in first second of downward journey. And if you consider this journey starting from here, then your initial velocity is 0. So u is 0, 0t plus half g time taken. Time taken from here to here is 1 second. So this is fixed, you can see. It is fixed, constant, 4.8 meter. 4.8 meter. Oh, sorry, 9. Yesterday also I wrote 0.8. Sujal corrected me, I think. So look here, 4.9 meter. So, but I told you what? This is same as this. This is same as this. Yes or no? This is same as this. So what do you understand? Distance traveled in the last second of upward journey is same as distance traveled in first second of downward journey. And distance traveled in first second of downward journey is a constant. It does not depend on your initial velocity. Understood? So if somebody says this velocity has been doubled, then what it means? This will not change. This gap will not change. Am I saying height will not change? Am I saying maximum height will not change? If you double the initial velocity, no, of course it will change. If you double the velocity, it may go up to here. Visible, no? Like this. Then again comes back. So if you double the velocity to u, then your maximum height will become 4 times more. Why 4 times? Because maximum height is what? U square by g. So if u is doubled in that proportionality class I explained, if this is doubled, maximum height will increase 4 times. Understood? So this will increase 4 times compared to this. In the board, I cannot show 4 times because the board has limited size. So this height will increase 4 times, no doubt. But this part, that will remain same only. Understood now? Hello? So please keep that in mind. And if you want to see, no sir, using formula you explain sir, what these techniques you are using. Using formula, if you want to understand, see the picture which I have shared in the group. I've already shared the formulas for everything. You can see properly and understand. But no need for any formula. This is easier way to understand. Okay, so have a nice weekend, students. I know 2 days holidays are there, but don't waste all the 2 days for enjoyment. Please revise also. Thank you. Any doubt is there regarding this? Immediately call me and clear the doubt. No student should stay with doubts. I don't like that. Okay.